Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. I am Monsignor Jerome Figio, Rector of St. Peter and Paul Cathedral in downtown St. Thomas in the United States Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands is a territory comprised of three major islands: St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John. We do have another little island near St. Thomas called Water Island. Brothers and sisters, I'm here because some time ago, my bishop and your bishop, and somehow with Father Peter Han, spoke. And as a result of their conversation, I am here this morning. I didn't even know where Lancaster was. I looked on the map and I was able to identify where to find Lancaster. And I'm here for the very first time. Happy to be here because I was already well received and I feel welcome here since yesterday. So thank you for the hospitality that you are extending to me. And I will say to my bishop and to my diocese, thank you very much. Since the message of my bishop is to be delivered in the context of a Sunday liturgy, allow me to say something about the readings of this weekend. When I look at those readings, brothers and sisters, all that comes to mind is the word or the concept of inclusiveness. Inclusiveness. We are all members of the same family, the family of the children of God. That is seen in the first reading, where Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, reminds his people that the house of God, the church, or the temple, the house of God, is a house of prayer for all. I like to highlight the all, for all. Everyone feels welcome in the church, and this is why we keep the doors of our church open wherever we go. Anybody could come in and enjoy the atmosphere of prayer. And whenever we come to the house of God, we do not return the way we came in. We somehow, if we spend a meaningful time in the presence of the Lord, when we leave the house of God, we leave relieved. We unload all that we have on the foot of the cross, and we ask our Lord to give us what that He knows we need. And so, whenever I enter the house of God, I do not return the way I came in. And I believe that it is the same for you. And this is why, from time to time, in the house of God, especially in the cathedral where I am the rector, I usually ask the people to look at those sitting next to them and to greet them and to ask them for their name. I give them maybe 1 minute for that, and they do it so that during the Mass, you know exactly who is standing next to us. Because it could very well be that during the Mass, you're there for 1 hour with one person, and you leave and you go your way, he or she goes their way, and we do not get to know each other. So the house of God is a house of prayer for all. In the second reading, St. Paul, speaking to the Roman, really see himself as the apostle to the Gentiles. The Gentiles were the outcasts, but he is bringing them into the fold, making them realize that Jesus Christ came not just for some, but he also came for them. So he's making them part of. We all want to feel that we belong to. If you take students and you move them to a new class, a new school, and they get there and they don't feel welcome, you will know it. They will not be the same. They will probably be asking you to take them to another school. But the same is true for us adults. When you are hired to work in a company, when you get there and you begin to work, you realize that people are not really welcoming. So you're not the same person. But when they're welcoming, it kind of motivates you and you feel at home. So it should be the same, and if not more so, in our churches. I was sent here because my bishop believes that we all belong to the same family. The gospel of this day reminds us that the Canaanite woman came asking God for a favor. She was in need. She was in trouble because we told the child was not feeling well. And she knew where to go, to Jesus. Her faith led her to Jesus. And, of course, some people were wondering, the entourage of Jesus were wondering why she would be coming to Jesus. This outsider, Jesus welcomed her there. She too belonged to the children of God. And so, with that in mind, we are given a lesson that we all belong, and therefore we should be welcoming. We should be hospitable to our brothers and sisters. And this is basically why we spend money building churches and bringing pews. If it was just for ourselves, we'll be bringing our chair from our home to sit in the church. But when we do that, it shows that we want our church to grow. We want all the children of God to come to our place. So this is the message. So as indicated, strengthened by that belief, my bishop and your bishop spoke, and they asked me to come here and speak to you about the needs of our diocese. I'm not one who was trained as to how to beg, or how to really talk about the needs and ask for financial assistance. I said that to my bishop. He said, because you were not trained and because you feel that way, I want you to go and I want you to talk to the people about the financial needs of our diocese. So I have been doing this with him. Brothers and sisters, our diocese is in St. Thomas. Many of you see the Virgin Islands, the United States Virgin Islands, as a place for vacation, as a beautiful paradise. For so indeed it is. God created the Virgin Islands and created nice and beautiful beaches in the Virgin Islands. And so when you come there, you come for a good time. And when you arrive at the airport, as a tourist, they welcome you, and the taxi drivers will take you and give you a tour, and they have been trained to do that kind of work. And they know where to take you to make you enjoy your vacation. You go to special resorts or to your hotels, and when you get there, everything is fancy, ready for you. The day you want to go out for excursions to different places, they take you on a tour, and you come back satisfied. You have taken beautiful pictures, and when you return home, you share those pictures with your family, and everybody say, wow, they want to go to the Virgin Islands. But I'm here today to tell you that there are two Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands of the tourists and the Virgin Islands of the local. The local people of the Virgin Islands, they come knocking on our door. We serve the tourists, but we also serve the people God sent to us that we are there for. And when they come to us, they usually come with their problems, their families, their situation. And believe it or not, they believe that the church is there for them. And I will say rightly so. We have two soup kitchens, one in St. Thomas and the other in St. Croix. We try to get food to take to St. John, to the people who are in St. John, but it has to be cooked and prepared in St. Thomas. We try to meet the needs of the hungry. And believe it or not, at 9 a.m. in our soup kitchen, lines begin to form for the lunch for the meal that will be served at 12:30. And that's the only meal they have per day. And the more reason for them to come early and make sure that they don't miss that one meal per day. And so when we see that the lines kept getting longer. And we do not have many resources or many people right there ready to give us money to take care, to buy the food and bring the food to them. So we have to rely on the bishop. And whatever contribution you make, know that a sizable portion of it is given to our soup kitchen. We also have a shelter called Bethlehem House. That Bethlehem House is full to capacity. And every single night we have people knocking on the doors. And sometimes when they're told that there is no more space, they come knocking on the doors of the church, the door of the bishop, saying, but we went to Bethlehem House, there is no room. We'd say, we don't know what else to do. But those people are in need of assistance. So we serve meals and we shelter the homeless. And we do that thanks to the contribution, thanks to the assistance of many people like you. And so when we come here in the mainland, when we return home, at least we can turn to our programs and certainly give them a chance to continue to function. We have seminarians because we should not forget about evangelizing our people and making sure that we have enough praise for that. We have seminarians, but it takes anywhere between $25,000 to $30,000 a year to raise or to form a seminarian per year. And so we do not have a seminary of our own. We have to send them to the seminary here on the mainland, and it costs dearly. Brothers and sisters, we have 4 sisters. For quite some time we didn't have the nuns, and their presence is felt in the school. And they come to us, but we have to take care of their utilities, the utility bills, we have to take care of their health and so forth. And believe me, we need assistance to take care of them. And I could go on. The bishop wants also to be able to provide some assistance to poor families, especially for their children who want to receive Catholic education. And we rely on your assistance for that. So, brothers and sisters, I know that normally every Sunday when you come, the homily is only 8 minutes. I know that by now some of you want to wave their hand and say to me, it's enough, it's time to leave. So with that in mind, I believe that you have already received the picture that I wanted to bring to you as far as my diocese is concerned. You can always call us, call the Diocese of St. Thomas, call the bishop, call me, call anybody that you know in the Virgin Islands. And if you do come to the Virgin Islands, please come to our churches and knock on the door so that we could give you ourselves the tour. My bishop does it. He does it regularly. If he knows that you're coming from Lancaster and then you heard me talking to you, he'll be very happy and he will drive you to some of the sites that I'm talking about, especially the area where no tourists will go, because the taxi driver, they have the route, they don't always go everywhere. So know that there are 2 Virgin Islands, the Virgin Islands of the tourists and the Virgin Islands of the people of the Virgin Islands. This is the reality of our American paradise. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.